In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the order of operations. Our objectives are to understand how to create a number trick, understand how to use the order of operations to evaluate problems. The vocabulary to get us through this is the order of operations, rules that dictate how to work a math problem, variable, unknown number in a math problem, and evaluate, simplifying a math problem by using the order of operations. Our first concept or idea here in understanding the order of operations is utilizing a number trick. So I'm going to show you kind of the process behind this. These right here are the order of operations. What we're doing is we're focusing on what would we do first, second, third, and so on. So we want to go with any number. So anytime we want a random number, we typically use a variable. I'm going to use the variable n. We want to add 9 to n, so we're going to go n plus 9. The next thing we want to do is multiply by 3. Well, because we added 9 first, to make sure that the addition stays first, we need to then put it in parentheses and put the times by 3 in front of it. Now you can put the times sign in there or leave it out because a number next to a parentheses means multiplication. Next thing we want to do is subtract 6. We don't need a parentheses around our multiplication because subtraction comes after multiplication. So this one looks like 3 times n plus 9. That was what we had before. And then minus 6. Then we want to divide by 3. Well, there's two ways to do this when you want to divide after addition or subtraction. The main way that we typically use is a big division bar underneath everything. You can also put it all in parentheses too, so I'll show you both versions. That's the first version, a big division bar, so we have to do everything on top before we divide by 3, or we can put a parentheses around everything and put a division by 3. Okay, I'm going to go with the first one. It's a little bit less to write. So we then go to subtracting the original number. So we come back to our problem that we had before. Now when we subtract the original number, we want to divide by the 3 and then subtract the original. So the subtraction is going to happen off to the right here. And the original number was n, so we're going to come back to that letter n. This is creating a number trick. It will help us understand how the order of operations works a little bit better. Now, as a quick refresher on the order of operations, here's what we have. We're always going to do what's inside a parentheses first. Now, one thing to remember about the parentheses when it's there is that when you're inside a parentheses, you're still following the order of operations. So if you're inside a parentheses and see another parentheses, you go inside that parentheses first. You see exponents, you must do that before you multiply and divide. You must do those things before you add and subtract. So the order of operations is this thing that's always being used. So we're going to do the parentheses first. We would take care of exponents second. Now, one of the catch points here is in 3 and 4. Notice I have multiply and divide on the same step, and we will do them from left to right. So if we see division on the left, we will divide before we'll actually multiply. Same thing with adding and subtracting. If you see subtraction first on the left side, then you'll do the subtraction before adding. This is a major problem for some students, and I'll show you that in my examples. So what I have here are two problems that I'm going to go through the actual work for. We'll start with A over here, and then we'll do B here. So as we do this, we look and we see this parentheses, so we're going to want to start inside that parentheses. So we have 13 minus 3, and we have it squared. Well, exponents, squaring, happens before subtraction, so we want to do this part first. 3 squared, which is really just 3 times 3, so we get 9 minus 13. Or 13 minus 9, in fact, because we want to keep it in the same order. So 13 minus 9, it's still inside this parentheses, so it's going to be 4. So this 4 really takes the place of that parentheses, and we now have this set up. Basically bring everything down in the same position, and we just take what's in the parentheses and put in the number that we have come up with. Then we've got subtraction, multiplication, and addition. Our next step would be to multiply right here. So 2 times 4 gives us 8, and that's going to take the place of the 2 in the 2 times 4. And around it, we're going to put in minus 40, or 40 minus 8, and plus 5. Now this is one of the points that I was talking about before. We have 40 minus 8 and 8 plus 5. The subtractions on the left, we actually have to subtract first. So this would be 40 minus 8 is 32. Bring down our plus 5, and this gives us 37. This process is called evaluating, because there are no unknowns, so we're not solving, we're evaluating, we're simplifying it. Here's another example. Again, we have a division bar, but we can't really divide this unless all of this is one number. So we've got to do the order of operations to the top. One way to think about that is like the top here is in parentheses. So we have 60 plus 2 times 3. We have to do the multiplication first, so that's going to give us 6. So we still have this parentheses because it's not one number. 60 plus 6 is 66. We're going to rewrite it with the 11, divide by 11 on the bottom, and plus 7 off to the side. Now we have division here. 66 divided by 11 will give us 6. Bring our plus 7 down. 6 plus 7 leaves us with 13. Again, we have evaluated this problem. We have simplified it into one number because there are no unknowns. We're not solving. Alright, if there are any questions or things that you didn't quite get the first time, please rewind, watch again, and come with questions to class. Thank you.